Have you ever felt like your emotions are running your life, making you act in ways you later regret? Nietzsche explained that emotional control is not optional. It is the foundation of respect, freedom, and self-mastery. Without it, your decisions are dictated by impulses, fears, and unconscious drives. The mind is the battlefield, and emotions are the forces that can either enslave or empower you. Uncontrolled anger, fear, jealousy, or sadness can sabotage relationships, careers, and even your self-image. The dark psychology of emotions shows that most people underestimate how much their feelings dictate their behavior. Each unexamined emotional reaction quietly reinforces patterns of self-sabotage. How often have your feelings dictated actions that you later wished you could undo? This is the trap Nietzsche warned about. Emotions left unchecked gradually take over the mind, eroding your power and credibility. Emotional mastery is not about suppression. It is about understanding, regulating and channeling feelings in a way that serves your goals. Anger can become clarity. Sadness can fuel reflection. Fear can sharpen focus. But without awareness and control, these emotions are chains rather than tools. Have you noticed how easily others manipulate people who cannot control their emotions? Those who react impulsively are vulnerable. Their thoughts, words, and actions can be twisted, used against them, and exploited. Nietzsche emphasized that true power begins inside the mind, in the ability to master your internal state before trying to influence the external world. Understanding the unconscious triggers behind your emotional responses is the first step. Recognizing the shadows of past experiences, traumas, or fears helps prevent emotional hijacking. Emotional control is not weakness. It is the ultimate strength, a skill that separates those who live consciously from those who live reactively. Have you ever reacted in anger or fear, only to realize later that your emotions were silently guiding your choices? Nietzsche emphasized that uncontrolled emotions are a silent enemy. Every unexamined feeling, rage, envy, sadness, or even excessive excitement, can hijack your decision-making, cloud judgment, and shape your life without your conscious awareness. The dark psychology of emotions shows that most people live as passengers in their own minds, reacting impulsively rather than acting with intention. When emotions dominate, your life becomes a series of reactions. You may say or do things that betray your values, damage relationships, or erode your self-respect. Emotional hijacking is subtle but persistent. One moment of anger can destroy a friendship. One lapse of fear can stop you from pursuing your dream, and one surge of jealousy can ruin your confidence. How often have you let a fleeting emotion dictate actions that shaped your future negatively? Every uncontrolled reaction is like planting a seed of regret, silently growing in the garden of your life. Nietzsche warned that emotional chaos is a slow poison. It undermines respect, diminishes power, and makes freedom impossible. True self-mastery requires awareness and practice. Emotional control is not suppression. It is understanding and channeling your inner states constructively. Fear can become focus. Anger can become determination. Sadness can become insight. But this transformation requires conscious effort and reflection. Are you aware of the unconscious triggers that pull your emotions like strings in a puppet show? Childhood traumas, past humiliations, social conditioning, and hidden fears all act behind the scenes, directing your reactions without your consent. Only by recognizing and confronting these triggers can you reclaim control. Nietzsche emphasized that emotional mastery is the cornerstone of personal power. It separates those who lead meaningful, conscious lives from those who drift helplessly in a sea of reactive impulses. By training yourself to respond rather than react, you free your mind from the tyranny of feelings, creating space for rational decision-making, creativity, and self-respect. Are you truly in control of your emotions, or are they silently controlling you? Nietzsche warned that emotions are powerful forces that, if left unchecked, can dominate your life. The unconscious mind stores old fears, traumas, and unresolved feelings that erupt unexpectedly, dictating decisions and behaviors. Uncontrolled anger, anxiety, or sadness is not just a fleeting experience. It is a shadow silently shaping your relationships, career, and sense of self. Emotional hijacking works subtly. You may think you are reacting rationally, but often it is the unconscious steering your actions. Every rash word, every impulsive decision, and every regretful action is evidence of the mind being led by unmanaged feelings. Over time, these patterns erode your confidence, weaken your influence, and prevent you from achieving your full potential. How many times have you avoided confrontation, delayed action, or suppressed your desires because your emotions were overwhelming? Each instance strengthens the cycle, letting fear, anger, or jealousy silently dictate your life. Nietzsche emphasized that the path to power begins within the mind, by mastering your inner states before engaging with the external world. The paradox is clear. Emotions are natural, necessary, and human. But when they control you, they become a tyrant. Mastery does not mean suppression. It means awareness, regulation, and constructive expression. Anger becomes energy, sadness becomes reflection, and fear becomes clarity. But this requires deliberate practice, courage, and vigilance. Have you considered that most people lose respect, not because they are weak, but because they allow emotions to dominate their choices? Emotional control is the foundation of self-respect, influence, and true freedom. The ones who act from clarity rather than reaction are those who achieve mastery over life, not just survival. If these truths resonate with you, if you recognize moments where your emotions have silently sabotaged your life, then don't just watch. Like this video and take a conscious step toward reclaiming your emotional power. Part 4. Who would you become if you could respond to every emotion instead of reacting to it? Nietzsche emphasized that self-mastery begins with recognizing your emotions as tools, not tyrants. Every fear, anger, or desire contains information, clues about your needs, boundaries, and triggers. But when ignored or suppressed, they hijack your decisions, manipulate your relationships, and even compromise your future. The first step to control is awareness. Observe your emotions without judgment. Notice how anger rises, how jealousy creeps, how anxiety paralyzes. By naming and acknowledging these states, you prevent them from ruling your actions unconsciously. Awareness alone doesn't solve everything, but it sets the stage for transformation. How often have you felt regret or shame after an emotional outburst that could have been avoided? Each uncontrolled reaction strengthens the unconscious pattern, silently dictating future behavior. Emotional mastery requires breaking this chain, confronting the triggers, and reshaping your responses. Jung and Nietzsche both highlight that shadow work is essential for emotional control. The unconscious stores past traumas, repressed feelings, and unacknowledged fears that surface unexpectedly. Facing these shadows is uncomfortable, but it allows you to reclaim authority over your internal world. Without integration, emotions remain unpredictable forces, capable of disrupting every aspect of your life. The second step is regulation. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions, it means channeling them constructively. Anger can fuel determination. Sadness can deepen insight. Fear can sharpen focus. Every emotion contains power. Mastery is learning to harness it. Finally, action must follow insight. Understanding your emotions is useless if you let them paralyze you. Self-mastery emerges when awareness, regulation, and action converge. This combination transforms vulnerability into strength, chaos into clarity, and reaction into conscious choice. Are you ready to stop being a passenger to your own feelings and start steering your life consciously? The journey is challenging, but the reward is immense. Freedom, respect, and the power to shape your destiny. And if you feel the urgency of this lesson, if you've ever been betrayed by your own emotions, then subscribe and turn on the bell to continue this journey into emotional mastery and the hidden psychology of power. Are you controlling your emotions, or are they secretly controlling you right now? The harsh truth Nietzsche revealed is that emotions are not neutral. Left unchecked, they quietly govern your decisions, relationships, and sense of self. Anger, jealousy, fear, or sadness can manipulate you without warning, steering your life like a ship without a captain. The unconscious mind thrives in these moments, subtly dictating actions and thoughts while convincing you it's natural. When emotions dominate, you react rather than act. Opportunities are missed, relationships are strained, and self-respect erodes. The silent influence of unmastered feelings is profound. It can destroy trust, damage reputation, and even undermine your own freedom. Nietzsche warned that true power begins inside the mind, before it ever manifests in the outside world. How often have you felt regret, guilt, or frustration because your emotions betrayed you? Each instance reinforces the unconscious patterns that continue to control your behavior. Without deliberate awareness, emotional mastery remains impossible, and life becomes a series of reactive cycles. Jung and Nietzsche both highlight the solution: awareness, regulation, and integration. Recognize the emotions as they arise. Understand their origin in your past experiences, fears, or unresolved conflicts. Channel them constructively rather than suppressing them, and act from conscious choice, not impulse. The paradox is clear. Emotions are both your greatest power and your deadliest threat. Master them, and they become allies. Ignore them, and they become tyrants. True mastery requires courage, patience, and consistent practice. Are you ready to reclaim your power and stop being manipulated by feelings you didn't create? Imagine living without the invisible chains of reactive emotions, making decisions with clarity, acting with confidence, and building the life you truly want. And here's the sandwich method. Even if you achieve emotional mastery, another challenge silently awaits: the shadow of your past and the unconscious patterns of shame. In the next video, we'll explore how unresolved trauma and shame interact with emotions to silently sabotage your life, and the steps to break free before it's too late. If this resonates, if you've ever been a victim of your own feelings, then subscribe, turn on the bell, and continue this journey into the darkest corners of psychology, where emotional mastery becomes the ultimate path to freedom and respect.